Rachel Maddow went to Dick Cheney's funeral yesterday. We can do this, people. It's Thanksgiving. Do yourself a favor, get over yourself, and go have it with your family.
Some groups have recently started raising concerns about Thanksgiving, and the pushback is becoming noticeable. They previously questioned holidays like Halloween and Father's Day, and now Thanksgiving is the latest focus. Ma, known for his sharp humor and direct style, called out these constant efforts to find problems with harmless traditions that many people enjoy. There's a lot to talk about here, so let's break it down.
Happy Thanksgiving. I can't believe that even that now is a political issue. It is a real shame what's happened to this holiday, which used to be all about the good F's: food, friends, family, football, fun. And now it's you. You're not even invited because you voted for the wrong person. I'm so tired of liberals ghosting half this country. Conservatives do it too, but not nearly as much. Look, whoever's doing it, it's got to stop, because we're at a point now where politics has broken up more families than letting your wife see your phone.
You may have seen this clip before, but the takeaway goes further. Ma highlights how some on the far left keep criticizing Thanksgiving, a holiday meant to bring people together. He says they act as if the day is only acceptable when everyone shares the same views, turning a simple celebration into a political test. Ma points out how unreasonable that is, reminding us that Thanksgiving is about family, connection, and appreciating what we have, not about policing beliefs at the dinner table.
On the liberal side, there's two camps now. The we need to keep talking to people wing and the go no contact wing. That's what they call it now, go no contact. This belief that Trump voters, even if it's your own parents, are too deplorable for human contact and must be cut off. You know, like Scientologists do to suppressive people. A former speechwriter for Obama named David Litt wrote an op-ed this year called, "Is it time to stop snubbing your right-wing family?" where he admitted he'd had a change of heart and that was the wrong approach. So of course then the woke wing tried to banish him for breaking ranks on their policy of hating people who don't agree with you on everything, because what fun is life if you're not cutting somebody off?
Some groups keep finding problems with even the most basic traditions. They've criticized Father's Day, argued over Halloween costumes, and now they're targeting Thanksgiving, saying they don't want to sit with people who think differently, or claiming there's nothing to appreciate. This constant scrutiny turns holidays meant to bring people together into sources of tension, overshadowing the simple joy and gratitude these celebrations are meant to share.
Molly McNerney, Jimmy Kimmel's wife and head writer, went public on this topic recently, so I feel it's fair to comment respectfully in public. She says she's lost relationships with relatives because she wrote them an email before the election with 10 reasons why they shouldn't vote for Trump, and some still didn't obey. So, you know, 10 reasons. I could think of 100. But I would never present it to someone as an ultimatum. Ultimatums don't make people rethink their politics, they make them rethink you.
Choosing to skip Thanksgiving just because you disagree with others says more about you than about the holiday. Thanksgiving is about gratitude and connection, yet some let politics outweigh basic courtesy. What does it say about our culture when people avoid a simple shared meal over differing views? Ma's point is clear. Gratitude shouldn't depend on agreement, and turning Thanksgiving into a political test only shows negativity, not principle.
Somewhere along the way, my values became code for I'm the only one with a moral compass. You know what would have been a better exercise? Write a top 10 list to yourself where you try to imagine 10 reasons why 77 million Americans didn't want to trust you with taking power. And I say that as someone who votes Democratic. As I like to remind my very pure friends, we voted for the same person. You're just why she lost.
That's true. During Trump's presidency, a large portion of the country backed him, but no election will ever have everyone in agreement. Total unity isn't realistic. That's why respecting different opinions matters. Democracy depends on open debate and varied perspectives, not attacking people for their choices. We should recognize those differences and engage with them respectfully.
You really not get it at this point? Everything with him is done through personal relationships. He's a people guy. Trust me, he's not at home at night poring over the briefing books. This is government by people is saying. If anything, we need more people like me having dinner with him. You complain he's surrounded by ass-kissers, but your strategy is to make sure no one but ass-kissers are around him? You are not serious people.
According to the argument, some left-leaning critics seem especially unhappy this Thanksgiving because Trump is in office. Instead of handling political disappointment calmly, they focus on attacking him and often exaggerate their frustrations. Many react emotionally without fully engaging with his actual record. In the process, they let their resentment overshadow a holiday meant for gratitude and family. Choosing bitterness over a day of reflection says more about their outlook than about Trump himself.
Rachel Maddow went to Dick Cheney's funeral yesterday. We can do this, people. It's Thanksgiving. Do yourself a favor, get over yourself, and go have it with your family.
It's Thanksgiving, and there's nothing wrong with discussing differences as long as it's done calmly and respectfully. Family gatherings can include debate while still keeping the connection intact. Cutting people off over how they voted doesn't show strength. It's unhelpful and emotional. Thanksgiving is meant to rise above politics. It's a time to reconnect and appreciate what unites us. Avoiding the day because of an election only shows how easily politics can overshadow family, gratitude, and tradition. Mature people can share a table, hear opposing views, and still be thankful.
Don't be a hypocrite and defend attacks on speech from the left, because you either get the concept or you don't. And sadly, a lot of people don't anymore. Yes, mostly the young who were never taught it by their derelict educational system, but also Lisa Cook. She's the Fed board member Trump is trying to fire for bullshit reasons, and they are bullshit. But when she tried to get another professor fired because he once, according to one student, was less than rapturous about Martin Luther King Day, no, she should know better. She said free speech should have its limits. Yes, it should, and does. And this comes nowhere close to them.
This issue goes beyond holidays. Some on the left have developed a strong resistance to views that don't match their own. Instead of open debate, they often respond with online backlash, public shaming, or attempts to cancel the person who spoke up. Disagreements can turn into reputational damage, sometimes even affecting someone's job. In more extreme cases, people may push friends or family to cut ties. This isn't tolerance. It's pressure meant to silence opposing views. The result is a culture where many feel unsafe to speak, question, or think openly.
It also can't become what the UK is now, a place where you get arrested for tweets, something that happens 12,000 times a year now in Britain. Last week, the Irish sitcom writer Graham Linehan, who's won an Emmy and 5 BAFTA awards, got off a plane at Heathrow and got arrested by 5 British cops. Not because he was selling drones to the Houthis, just because he's a crank who spends way too much time online ranting about gender ideology, which is an odd obsession for a comedian from across the pond, because if men weren't allowed to dress as women, British comedy wouldn't exist.
Some argue the U.S. might have faced stricter speech limits, similar to what's happening in the U.K., if the DNC had stayed in power. Critics worry that speech rules could have expanded, and government scrutiny over unpopular opinions might have grown. They also note that while Trump has openly clashed with media outlets, many of those organizations targeted him long before he pushed back. His responses were counterattacks, not attempts to restrict speech. The deeper concern, critics say, is a political movement that pressures or punishes citizens for expressing views outside the accepted narrative.
In the words of that great Brit, Ricky Gervais, if you don't believe in a person's right to say things that you might find grossly offensive, then you don't believe in freedom of speech. You shouldn't have to eat your words at the airport. The chicken Alfredo on the flight was bad enough. Linehan may be crude, but there's plenty of non-crazy people, liberal people, who think the left has gone a little mad with trans issues. Some have expressed that opinion with literary sophistication, like J.K. Rowling. Some by getting big laughs, like Dave Chappelle. And some are downright ugly about it, like Linehan. But ugly is the price of a freedom so great as speech.
In a free society, being offended is unavoidable. Real free speech means people will say things we don't like, and that's part of the deal. While speech has limits, it fully protects differing political views and uncomfortable opinions. What it doesn't justify is canceling people simply for thinking differently. Disagreeing is normal. Trying to destroy someone's reputation over it isn't accountability, it's control. Cancel culture treats every disagreement as an attack, creating fear instead of open discussion. True freedom requires protecting even the speech we dislike. Without that, we end up with silence, not liberty. A society that can't handle disagreement can't call itself free. Holidays, family moments, and political debates shouldn't demand total conformity. Respecting different views and allowing open expression are essential for a healthy democracy. Thanksgiving is a reminder that gratitude and connection matter more than outrage.